So you've just taken a pregnancy test and it is positive. Now maybe this is a surprise, or maybe you've been hoping and waiting for this. But either way, your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, and you're probably wondering what happens now. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens now. I'll talk about what's going on inside your body, the most important first steps to take, and a few things that you don't need to stress about right away. By the way, my name is Diana. I'm a physician assistant in women's health. I'm a mom of 4 and the creator of the online birth prep course, Own My Birth. I've helped tens of thousands of women through these first weeks of pregnancy. So let's take the mystery and a little bit of that anxiety out of what comes after that positive pregnancy test. And if you are new here, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments section if you are pregnant now, and if so, how far along you are. There's a good chance that since you clicked on this video, you are probably very early in your pregnancy. So first off, congratulations, because having a baby, and I have 4 by the way, having a baby has had its challenges, but by far has been the most amazing, fulfilling, and joyful experiences of my life. I'm so excited that you get to experience this as well. So let's talk about what has already started to happen in your body for that pregnancy test to become positive. So in order for your pregnancy test to show up positive, an egg was released from your ovary and it traveled into your fallopian tube, where the egg met up with the sperm, which fertilized the egg. The DNA from the egg and sperm combined to form a brand new genome inside that cell. In other words, it's new DNA, half from the mom and half from the dad, creating a unique genetic blueprint that has never existed before. And as that cell continues to travel down the fallopian tube into the uterus, it is dividing in 2 again and again. And then by the time it reaches the uterus and buries itself into the uterine lining called implantation, that fertilized egg is now a ball of cells called a blastocyst. Now at this point, you won't have a positive pregnancy test. Not yet, but after the egg implants into the uterus, it starts to produce a hormone called HCG. And that hormone is what the pregnancy test is checking for. And it takes a few days before there is enough of that hormone to be in your body to make a pregnancy test show up positive. So how soon can that pregnancy test show up positive? Usually the earliest is a few days before you miss your period, and a blood test or a serum pregnancy test can detect it even a little earlier. Now, besides releasing enough HCG to make a pregnancy test turn positive, it has a role that is vital to your pregnancy. HCG tells your ovaries to keep making a hormone called progesterone. Think of progesterone as the pregnancy protector. It keeps the uterine lining thick and cushioned, and then it keeps your uterus from contracting too soon. Estrogen is another key player of pregnancy. You can think of estrogen like the builder. Estrogen helps your uterus grow, it boosts blood flow, and then it gets your breast ready for breastfeeding. So together, these 3 hormones are the pregnancy powerhouse hormones. Remember, HCG preserves, progesterone protects the pregnancy, and then estrogen grows and prepares your body for what's ahead. Okay, so now that you understand what had to happen in order for you to get that first positive pregnancy test, now let's talk about what happens next inside your body, which is pretty remarkable. First off, the beginnings of the placenta is starting to form. Now, the placenta is a temporary organ that develops during pregnancy. The only organ, in fact, that grows temporarily for a specific purpose and then detaches from your body after that purpose is served. There's no other organ that does this. So cool. So the placenta attaches to the wall of the uterus and connects the baby through the umbilical cord. It acts like a lifeline, delivering oxygen and nutrients from your blood to the baby and then carrying away waste products. Now, as for the baby, they are growing at an incredible rate. From week 4 to week 8 of pregnancy, your baby goes through one of the fastest growth spurts of their entire life. Between week 4 and week 8, your baby grows up to 15 times bigger, going from the size of a poppy seed to a raspberry in just 1 month. A raspberry, which is over a ½ an inch long. In just 1 month, that tiny little cluster of cells develops a beating heart, limb buds, facial features, and the beginnings of every major organ system. This is the very beginning of a marathon, not a sprint, which is why the steps you are taking now are all about laying a strong foundation for your pregnancy. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, lonely, or even isolated in this experience, know this: you are not alone. This is a huge life-changing event. Exciting? Yes. A little scary? also yes, and that's okay. But this is exactly why I'm launching a new community for pregnant women where you can connect with others who are going through everything you are. I will be there doing Q&A lives, as well as adding exclusive labor and pregnancy education videos, printables, including a free first trimester survival guide, and so much more. I'm so excited to see you guys in there, where you can talk to each other, support one another, cheer each other on, and then when the big day comes, you can celebrate with your tribe of pregnant and new moms. To join, just click the link in the video description and it will take you straight to my community called Own My Birth, and then hit join. Now, right now, it's free to join this community, but it's not always going to be. So join now by clicking the link in the video description. I can't wait to see you over there. Now, let's move on. Now, we've talked about what is happening inside your body and what incredible things your baby has done so far. Now let's talk about the first key steps that you need to take, starting off with setting up your first doctor's appointment. Now, most OBs or midwives schedule their first appointment somewhere around week 8, give or take, but call sooner if you have pain, bleeding, or any health concerns. Now, your first appointment is really important. Your provider will ask you about your medical history, your family history, your past pregnancies, surgeries, your medications, and they're gonna collect some blood work and get a urine test. They will also most likely check an ultrasound, and one of the things that they will be looking for is the baby's heartbeat. They can hear your heartbeat by a transvaginal ultrasound as early as around 6.5 weeks. Best sound in the world. The next thing to do after you get that positive pregnancy test is to check your medications. Even common over-the-counter medications like acne creams, cold remedies, supplements may not be safe for pregnancy, so check the labels and then make sure to bring your medication list to your provider on that first appointment. Number 3, if you haven't already, start taking a prenatal vitamin. Over-the-counter prenatals are fine as long as it has at least 600 micrograms of folic acid, which protects your baby's brain and spine. Number 4, and you don't hear this one as often, but book a dental exam. Gum health is often overlooked, but it is linked to pregnancy outcomes. So poor gum health has been linked to preterm birth, which means delivering before 37 weeks, and low birth weight, and possibly preeclampsia, which means high blood pressure in pregnancy. So remember, you shouldn't neglect your gums. Number 5, focus on health basics. Drink plenty of water, eat balanced meals, get plenty of sleep, and unless your medical provider tells you otherwise, gentle exercises are fine. If you are a coffee lover, good news is you don't have to cut that out completely. Studies show that as long as you keep the caffeine intake under 200 milligrams a day, so like 1 cup of coffee, that it's totally fine. But alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco should be cut out completely. If you have addiction problems, make sure to talk to your OB or midwife. There are programs and support groups to help you. Next, let's talk about what not to stress about. And then there's also a few things that can wait. Now, when it comes to pregnancy, there is a lot of anxiety around rules, especially around food rules, because there are some things that are off limits, like raw or undercooked meat. But here's the truth. One accidental bite of deli meat or a sip of something unpasteurized is very unlikely to cause problems. The real concern is repeated or ongoing exposure. So instead of stressing over a little slip, focus on the big picture. Plenty of fruits and veggies, protein and whole grains. That's what truly fuels you and the baby. Next, let's talk about the scale. Weight gain gets so much attention, but the number on a scale is not a grade of how well you are doing as a mom. What really matters is that you're making healthy, consistent choices, eating a variety of foods, moving your body if your provider says it's okay to, and listening to your hunger cues. Some weeks the gain will be more and some weeks less, and that's completely normal. Your provider is looking at the overall pattern, not one way, and so give yourself some grace. Pregnancy is about being healthy, not being perfect. Now, some women actually struggle with weight loss early in their pregnancy because of morning sickness. So if you are not able to keep any foods or liquids down, make sure to talk to your medical provider about options that can help with morning sickness. And I've actually done a whole video all about morning sickness, which I will link to right here. You can check that out if you'd like. I want to take a brief moment to talk about when to announce your pregnancy, because the truth is there's really no perfect rule. So some women like to wait till they get through the first trimester before announcing their pregnancy. And probably one of the reasons someone might choose to wait is because around the end of the first trimester, the chances of miscarrying drops down below 1% in most healthy pregnancies, and they want to wait to announce until they are more sure that the pregnancy won't end in miscarriage. The reasoning, among other things, is probably so that if they miscarry, they don't have to face telling everybody that they miscarried after already telling everybody that they are pregnant. I get that. I did that myself with a few of my pregnancies. However, the downside to this is that keeping a pregnancy and a miscarriage to yourself means that you have no one to help you through it, to help and offer you comfort and support. So there's positives and negatives to both. It's really up to you. I think a good way to go about it might be to tell your trusted friends or family members early on, but then wait to announce it to everyone else till you are a little further along. But again, whether you announce your pregnancy as soon as you know or you wait a little bit, it's entirely up to you. It's your news, it's your timeline. Finally, I want to mention some things that kind of need to be out there on your radar, but you don't need to figure out right now because you have some time and honestly, they can wait. So you don't need to buy every piece of baby gear this week. Save the stroller and the crib shopping for later, like in the second trimester when you have had time to research what you actually want and then you can, watch for sales. Also, you don't need to pick a pediatrician yet. Now, if you already have a kid or kids, you probably already have a pediatrician, but if you don't, take your time to ask around, find out who's really good in your area. Also, you don't need to have your birth plan locked in yet. Early on, focus on learning your options and having conversations with your provider. The details can kind of take shape as you get further along. Now, we talk about these kinds of things all the time on this channel, so if you aren't already subscribed, take a second to do that now. And then also maternity clothes. Now, most women don't really need them until around 12 to 16 weeks, or even further along if it's your first pregnancy. Same goes for hospital tours or prenatal classes. Now, looking ahead is smart, but those typically happen later in pregnancy. Right now, your focus is on the essentials: prenatals, avoiding alcohol and tobacco, and getting that first OB visit on the calendar. Everything else can come step by step. So to recap, after that positive pregnancy test, schedule your first OB appointment, start taking prenatal vitamins, review your medications to make sure that they are safe in pregnancy, get a dental checkup, and then focus on a healthy lifestyle. And I'm going to add in there, find a support system, your family and friends, and remember you have a free support group for you at On My Birth. Again, the link is in the description. And remember, this stage is about starting strong and nourishing your body, finding your provider and giving yourself the space to soak in the fact that life has just changed for the very best. So let me know in the comments, what was the very first thing that you did after you found out you were pregnant? Now, if this video helped, but you'd like to know more detail about what happens with pregnancy week by week, I've actually done an entire pregnancy series week by week. Every single week correlates with a video, so it's very detailed. I am going to link to that playlist right here. Click on that, find the week that you are at, and I will see you over there.